Most professionals waste hours after every client call, rereading messy notes, figuring out who owns what writing a follow-up email would look like from scratch. And I built a Claude Code skill that does all of that in under a minute. You just drop in your raw call notes or a full transcript, and it produces a complete 7-section action plan, executive summary, key decisions, action items with owners, open questions, risk, recommended next steps, and a client-ready follow-up email ready to send. So I just want to jump in and show it to you live. Let's do it. All right, so as you can see here, I have Claude Code set up in my IDE window. I'm using Cursor, but you could use Terminal, you could use VS Code, whatever you want. So I've already uploaded the transcript that has like the client call. And now I'm just gonna ask it, hey, turn these call notes into an actionable plan and follow-up email. And it should know to use that Claude skill. So as you can see here, it's thinking and it's saying, hey, should I use this Claude skill? And we're gonna say, yep, let's go for it. And now it's, compiling everything for us. And it's reading all of the reference material, all of the notes that I gave it. And it's compiling that complete 7-action plan that we talked about. So I'm just gonna wait for it, give it some time. And here it is. That was really fast. Let's take a look at it. I'll give it some breathing room. Let's let it cook a bit. Okay, some action item, open items. This is looking good already though. I haven't had a chance to scroll through all of this. It's happening live, so. Wow, this is amazing. And don't worry, we'll take it from the top. All right, so it looks like it's complete. I'm gonna start from the top here. Client call action plan. So it's pretty clear who the client is. We have Bright Path Coaching Studio. We discussed onboarding and delivery operations review. High level summary, looks amazing. Talks about onboarding. It was clear on what the status is for the client. Intake form, calendar was discussed, shared documents. Key decisions, this also looks amazing. It is in the bullet point format, which we specified in the skill, the Claude skill. And this is really great. So we also have clear action items. You can transfer this over to a Google Sheet, or we can automate that into a Google Sheet or any CRM. It has the task, a clear owner, a due date, a status, notes for each of those tasks. And my hope is that, if anything is unclear here or open, we'll address it. And there you go. Look at this, open questions. Which 2 to 3 real client onboardings will be used to pilot the template? It made note of that in the task table here. It made note of that there's no clear owner, that there's no clear due date or status. And we're going to follow up with a question to ask them that. So that's really neat. All these open questions are being driven directly from this Claude skill. It also highlighted risk and blockers, which is great. It talks about adoption risk, tone risk, drift risk. The existing checklist document is not used as source of truth. These are all things that are amazing because they could have been in our blind spot. I think there's a lot going on as a business owner in your day-to-day that it would be nice to have someone always looking out for you for things that you might have missed that you find really important, and you can specify that within the Claude skill. So yeah, this is amazing. It's talking about recommended next steps. It's pretty clear on what those next steps are. Deliver the workflow map, run the template for the client, revisit automation. And what I really love here is how clear this follow-up email is. Within the skill, we've also specified the tone that we want to share with our clients. And this is amazing. I could see myself using this every day, which I probably will. So I want to share a little bit about how I built this Claude skill. So let's move over to the whiteboard so I can show it to you high level, and then I'm going to show you each of those pieces and what they look like. Okay, so let's start from the top here. As a product builder, what you typically find in a professional setting is a PRD, or known as a product requirements document. Essentially, it's just saying, what are the guardrails for this project? What are we building here? What are some key stakeholders? What are they looking for? What are some risks? What are any blockers? It's essentially coming from your product manager on what is being used to solve the business problem that's at stake. And within our skill creation, when we go to build this Claude skill, we need certain components that acts as guardrails, but also learning material for Claude to really understand what needs to be done. So I've shared a lot of reference material such as sample inputs, examples, sample outputs, references, and templates that the Claude skill can use to build essentially like a tool that can be called and have like very clear boundaries and outputs when invoked or when called. Okay, so with the PRD and all of this reference material, I've asked Claude Code to build that skill. And I think I did it with maybe just 2 prompts. It was amazing how quickly Claude can take action on what I'm looking to do. And as a user of this tool, all I need to do is provide it a client called Transcript and ask Claude Code, hey, turn these call notes into an action plan and follow-up email. And once again, I know that I'm a little biased to have like a software engineering background, but anyone can use this. If you've never touched code before, this is still accessible to you. Once again, I did not write a single line of code here. I just spoke to Claude Code in plain English, in plain text, and shared what I had on my mind and what I wanted to build. This PRD document here, I asked Claude for that document. A key tip here is if you are a little hesitant to take the first result that Claude gives you, you can cross-reference that with OpenAI, ChatGPT, Gemini, just to get another pair of eyes on it to really craft that PRD document. It's very important. You don't need to do that, but I'm just showing you like what goes through my mind when I'm building these tools. So I have my skill MD now. It's complete. Once Claude Code builds it based on all of the reference material that I shared, I provide it with a call transcript, and I ask Claude Code to turn these call notes into an action plan and follow-up email. And these are all of the assets that it generates for me as a result. So once again, it's the executive summary, key decisions, action items, open questions, risk blockers, recommended next steps, and client-ready follow-up email. And I'm going to show you all these documents right now in Claude Code. So as you can see, here's the PRD. And don't worry about trying to copy all of this in the video. I will provide all of this in my free community. You can just join and I'll have the assets there for you to download. And yeah, in that community, I basically share everything that I'm learning along the way, and I'll share with you what worked, what didn't work. And yeah, my goal is to just build like a nice place where we can all learn together, add value. And if you have any questions or concerns or you need any troubleshooting, you just come to me or someone in the group for advice or help. So as you can see here, I have the fully built out PRD that was just coming from directly chatting with with Claude and also with OpenAI to try to confirm what needs to be done. Once Claude Code got a sense of the skill that it needed to be built, it built that skill, and it built it in the form of this markdown. That's how skills are built in Claude. The directory is really straightforward. You have your sample inputs, your sample outputs. This is the PRD file that I had initially in the project, and Claude built its own little folder here, and that's the skill that was created. Just to show you that I'm not joking when I said it was only like maybe 2 prompts. This is what it looks like. So I want you to work in plan mode. Another hot tip is to always start in plan mode. Do never start a project going to what they call vibe coding or just accepting everything. So I think it's called auto accept mode. Always start in plan mode and always provide it with the PRD at the very least. So I told Claude Code, hey, I want you to work in plan mode first. I'm building a tool. The PRD is in the folder. That's all I told it. Let's show less. All right, so make it clean it up. So that's one prompt. So as you can see, it's working. It read the PRD. And I asked it to use the Zoom transcript, like a fictional Zoom transcript that I had to kind of seed the sample input. So it updated that. I wouldn't even call that a prompt, but we'll call it a prompt. So that's 2 prompts. And at this point, when I get to here, it's already writing the skill. So it's doing the to-dos, it's writing the skill. I didn't do any other prompting here. And I think that might have been it. Yeah, I think that was it. Just two prompts. and I asked it explicit instructions. How can I use the client call action skill? And yeah, it gave me like an example output. And as you can see, it was pretty straightforward. It got what I needed to get done. And in a follow-up session, I provided it a Zoom transcript. And I just said, hey, turn these call notes into an action plan and follow-up email. So another 2-prompt session. And as you saw earlier in the video, it gave me everything I needed. The executive summary, key decisions, action items, open questions, risk blockers, recommended next steps, follow-up emails. And yeah, this is what I just built with Claude. I'm really excited about, building tools with Claude Code and not feeling overwhelmed. Everything I just showed you, the skill, the templates, the sample inputs, the golden output, the full folder, I share everything in my free school community. Link is in the description. Can't wait to see you there. Come grab these assets and let's get going. Have a great day.